Re-envisioning infrastructure, learning spaces, and environments in colleges. On this topic, first I would like to invite Mr. Rajesh Panda to present his presentation. Mr. Panda's area of research includes shoppers' buying behavioral, online retailing, social impact on economic growth, globalization, etc. The topic of the dissertation was a study of shopper buying behavior in terms of selection of retail outlets and the impact of visual merchandising. He has been awarded as the best professor in marketing management by National Educational Leadership Awards 2014. He has also been awarded with Rashtra Vibhushan Award by Foundation of Accelerated Community Development. He is currently the director at Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Bangalore. Welcome, Mr. Panda.
Yeah, thank you. Can I put it?
Yeah.
Very good afternoon. Yeah, I understand the lunch was too good and it was good enough to probably, what you can say, move our blood streams, from the brain towards the stomach. I said, good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Friends, some time ago, one of the deans at Harvard University was asked, what makes a great university? And he said, probably 200 years of history and 200 acres of land. I don't think that's any more relevant today, thanks to the evolution of probably internet and knowledge being online. Right, but when we say that knowledge is online, how much is probably we can take at face value? I think that was discussed. With the volume and the variety of data being created, something that we challenge is always the veracity. And transcend F. And when talking about the veracity of the data, probably something like MOOCs that comes into picture, which is partially or probably moderated by the faculty members, so you know the source is definitely going to be authentic. And at the same time, thank you, at the same time, that's available, so in the same time, probably that's available to free to masses. And that's where we talked about, or we started about MOOCs. Other people have talked about it, 2008, how it started. And I will just quote two people here. One is Regina, the first woman to be the tenured professor at SBS. And she said, it's going to democratize the education for all. And education probably at affordable price can come through MOOCs. And again, I will quote here Professor Kahl. He said that it's not that it's available to people in masses, it's cheaper. Rather, probably it has also changed the way I teach. So probably we're debating about online education, whether good or bad. And here is a professor who is talking about, I have improved myself or become better because probably I was participating in MOOCs. And we understand over the time we have got edX, Coursera, Audacity, and so many, and we have some Indian versions also to add to this. And we're talking again about the consumption, right? Some data I have just picked from Economic Times. It says that India, despite you have been talking about copying technology, still we are the second biggest consumer of edX, right? So then what's that? Then what's the solution? Can we replicate MOOCs? Okay, I believe it's quite contentious. I may probably, what you can say is debate on this. I believe in next 30 years, India would have only 50 universities. While today, our last 7 years, we have gone less than 400 to probably today more than 700. And probably globally, the numbers be 500. How did he come to this? Again, we can probably discuss and debate on this, but this is a hunch. And let me quote here, Charles Darwin, probably the person that all of us have read, who talked about evolution. It's not the strongest of the species that survives. It's not the most intelligent one that survives. It's the most adaptable one to change. Do we have an option whether we have to get into digital? I think we have no option. We have to adapt or simply perish. Then how do we do that? How do we do that? Now, here is my value proposition. I'm talking about yes. Can all of us fight on the MOOCs? I think probably no. Is it a solution panacea to all the problems of academics? I don't think so. Then how can we bring it down to the institute level where probably we have the benefit of the MOOCs in terms of reaching to masses, low cost, right? Professors not spending a lot of time in classroom, and at the same time have the blended learning where the student, the guru and the sishya, or the sage and the stage, somebody talked about it, that parampara can still continue, but with a lot of emphasis on online education. That's where we say that probably learning management system can probably come out as a rescuer, right? Because this session's topic is talking about infrastructure. How do we move to digital infrastructure? So I say here the focus must shift from, I am sorry, I think the font size is too small. The focus should shift from the physical infrastructure to digital infrastructure, where the learning management system has to integrate the physical education, the stage and the stage. At the same time, there has to be probably a scope for online education. Courses to be hosted on the learning management system even in residential campuses. This is a MOOCs-like environment within the campuses, right? So we can have multiple courses which can be hosted on LMS, and those courses probably will concentrate on the pre-class reading material, lecture videos that can be hosted in LMS. So the faculty doesn't spend a lot of time in terms of talking about a theory with the students. And so the time spent on physical location can be reduced, right? And more time people can talk about probably either internship or working with the industry, right? So this is what we're talking about, how we can reduce the physical location. And I think in the morning, Dr. Pant talked about 1/4 learning comes in the class, 1/4 from self-study, 1/4 from the peers, and the rest 1/4 from the time, right? So if that is the case, then why is that we should have the 100% emphasis on classroom study? Can a part of the study be done through the learning management system, through the digital infrastructure that we can create? Course content can be more attractive, learner-friendly on digital platforms. Professors are good at their knowledge. They don't need to be great in terms of designing this. We have got expertise which can be borrowed from outside who will do that, right? And this will also lead to something called a shift from information to structured thinking, you know. So you don't have to actually give a lot of gyan to students, but the classrooms can actually be for a lot of discussion on the basis of what students have already studied on an LMS. That's the MOOCs-like environment within the residential campuses. Remember, students are digital natives, which are more comfortable with the digital platform, and most of these professors, as we call, they're the digital immigrants, and they definitely need technology learning, but it's a completely, what you can say, it's a mental block. They don't have to be great IT experts to be here. They probably can be trained so that they can discuss, a debate, a talk with the digital natives. And when students feel comfortable, probably the type of, what you can say, interaction with the faculty members will enhance. And what is the best part of LMS? It's not only just learning, but all the administrative modules like attendance, exam, course fee can be integrated with the LMS. So the student can interact with various departments within universities, within colleges, using the learning management system. Yes, then how did it aid to the program structure? How this digital environment will help? I'm talking about, first of all, you have got flexible program structure. Today, the biggest cost of delivery is probably faculty. We talked about, can we replace face-to-face sessions? The answer is probably definitely no. But if you have to reach out to the masses, right, then probably you have to find out a via media where we don't lose out reaching to the masses, at the same time use technology probably to make it better. Choice-based credit system. If we have to offer multiple courses to multiple students, right, not necessarily each and every course will involve like a huge amount of contact session, which can probably done in a learning management system. Again, this is specific to management program. There is a huge debate in this country. We get 80% of the engineers in management programs. There is no structured, balanced, right brain, left brain thinking. They don't understand the sociology. They have never studied history, geography, or forgotten. How do we bring them to a platform where they become better managers? I think, again, this learning management system gives a brilliant platform where probably issues like sociology, psychology, geopolitical environment, economic history of this country, of the world, rural society or history can probably be fed to them in a way that necessitate them to understand the society and business better. They don't have to be experts, and we don't need teachers for them. But probably this can act as an aid in terms of, the LMS can probably help them in this. Yeah, maybe my last slide, learning environment. LMS, we discussed about time in class vis-a-vis the self-study and the group study and the discussion. where a lot of emphasis can be given to be discussion outside the classroom session. And probably in the morning, we talked about something called business simulations, right? And most of the faculty members like us, right, who run these schools, not necessarily everybody has worked in the corporate for 30 years, right? So then how do you probably create a learning environment, right, which is up to date, at the same time students understand that industry better? Then simulations or business simulations can be integrated into an LMS, learning management system, and those can be probably taught more effectively. We discussed about smartphones which were considered to be probably destructive till maybe in schools, which can be used for productive purposes in the classroom, right? Where the huge classroom, the tablets or probably smartphones to interact, to participate and study even during a class. And I'm sure no education can be better or probably no education system can be foolproof, but if the relationship between the faculty and the student, if the relationship is good, right, then the quality of learning or probably the passage of knowledge probably can be better. And this is something where if faculty members are trained on an LMS and if faculty and students are all together on a learning management system, then that can definitely help, right? So thank you. I'm so sorry, I have a flight to catch. I'm already requesting, I may be running late, so with the permission, if I can take questions, I will like to take now.
Sure. If anyone would like to ask a question to Mr. Panda, or else if not, then maybe you can have. Oh, okay, we have one question. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Sir.
Yes, please.
You told us about having the teacher education, the faculty education and the student education all together in a single LMS. It will actually improve the quality. Are you having the same at Symbiosis?
Okay. Maybe I'll talk about what we do at Symbiosis, but I'm talking about not faculty development through LMS. I referred to faculty members being trained to use LMS to teach students, right? While the LMS is mainly built for the students, but when the interaction happens between the faculty and the students, so the faculty must understand the user interface, not the technology, right? Because sometimes we misuse these terms, and so faculty members, they don't need to be experts. They only need to know how to use a computer. They need to know how to use the technology. And whatever I'm talking about, LMS, yes, we have been experimenting this. One way is to say that we have got a MOOCs, then it requires investment, it requires technology, then you have to scale it up. Then we discussed about what can be the probable demerits of the MOOCs, right? What about the interaction between the student and the faculty, right? So we are trying to create a MOOCs-like environment, a mini MOOCs-like environment, which will be blended with faculty members and probably contact sessions.
Any other question? Okay. I think.
Okay, so
yeah.
Thanks a lot. It was my privilege and honor to be here and speak on this matter. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Panda, for your presentation. We would like to felicitate you. I would like request Shantanu to please felicitate, sir.
Okay, thank you, Shantanu.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
A big round of applause, please. So next presentation on the same topic, we would like to have Mr. Rajesh Puri with his views on this topic. And about Mr. Rajesh Puri, he is the CEO of Bridge School of Management. Mr. Puri joined HT Media Limited in 2012 as the CEO of Indian Education Services Private Limited, which is a joint venture of HT Media Limited and Apollo Global. Before joining IESPL, Mr. Rajesh had successfully built Meru Cabs Company Private Limited, which is India's largest and the world's second largest radio taxi company, to a leadership position and a respected brand. Welcome, Mr. Puri.
Thank you. The last job that I did was running taxis, which is dealing with the doctorates and drivers is very different, I realized. Okay. I started a school called Bridge School of Management, and I'll explain to you why the word bridge. This is a joint venture between Hindustan Times, which all of us know, and Apollo Education Group. Apollo Education Group is the world's third largest education company. They run various universities. One of the more popular ones is University of Phoenix in the US, which has been a pioneer for the last 40 years in online education. Okay? Restricting myself to the topic, I heard a lot of speakers, and particularly Dr. Panda before me, and what I'll be showing to you is the execution of many of the thoughts that Dr. Panda spoke about. So very good thoughts, but I think where we moved is how to execute these thoughts, how to make it happen. I use the word bridge. I've been for 30 years, 25 years on the other side as an industry person. And as a CEO, my single biggest problem used to be talent. You could never find enough good people, and that's all you kept doing. So we said our mandate as a company or as an educational institution is to prepare talent and be a bridge between academics and industry. That's where the word bridge came from. Okay, so we are trying to sort of bring these two verticals together who sometimes don't talk to each other. These are our views of what India requires. India requires employability-based education. Okay, so it requires pure education. Somebody mentioned earlier, but our belief is, and our mandate is, to create employability-based education, have relevant programs, relevant courses which lead to an outcome. Having said that, you need quality, and quality can be delivered by high quality faculty and high quality operations. You need standardization because the quality of education you can get in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Pune is not available in smaller towns. How do you take education to the smallest of towns of the same quality? India has a student pay model. It's unlike the US where the government funds a lot of education. How do you make education affordable? Not everyone can go to the ISBs of the world, very expensive. Okay? How do you ensure that people get education, they get good quality, but it's affordable? I talked about scalability. How do you ensure that education is affordable, high quality, outcome oriented, and scalable? Okay? So multiple things we were toying with when we were doing our work, and we are trying to address some of these issues as we go along. So the first thing that we are doing, people spoke about the LMS, we call it the virtual learning environment. We implemented, our core audience in our school is the working people. Okay? So our core audience is not a fresh graduate. We talk to people who joined a job, realize that they don't have skills, want to upgrade their skills, want to learn new skills, want to move up in life, and are seeking a way of doing it without quitting their jobs. Okay? Having a virtual learning environment becomes very important because you can learn while you earn. So you don't have to quit your job, but you can continue to learn. The other thing we realized is, as many people said, we cannot do away with faculty. Okay, that is a mandatory item. So we said, can we provide accessible learning centers? Can we provide high quality accessible learning centers? Why should somebody have to travel 2 hours one way to reach a college? Why is a college not next to a metro station? Why is there no parking? You know, those kind of issues. Because our audience was a working person. This guy works 9 to 6 every day, has to reach a college once a week or twice a week. How can we make it doable? Okay? So we said we will have accessible learning centers and use a combination of virtual learning and face-to-face sessions to impart education. The pictures that you see are actual pictures of our learning centers. Okay? These are not dummy pictures. So what we are doing, we are executing. One of our learning centers is about 100 meters from here at DLF Cyber City. Okay? So it is not in some institutional area 20 miles out of town. it is where our audience works. So there are about maybe 200,000 people in a 5-mile radius where they work. Our whole intent of creating a learning center here was, can we make it convenient for people to come to a learning center so that they don't waste time traveling? Okay. These are real pictures. Again, it doesn't look like a school. It looks like a corporate office, high-end, because again, like I said, our audience is a working guy. He left school maybe 10 years back. He's not used to the wooden structure, the auditorium structure. He's used to sitting in a conference room and talking to each other. He's not used to sitting and having somebody lecture him. Okay? So the whole context was created like this. The other thing we did is, we said, this is a working guy, he has to travel, he has pressures from the office. How do you make education which the person can take in a convenient manner? So I'm using an analogy for car. You can start when you want, you can pause when you want, you can go back when you want, you can stop when you want, you can set your own pace. Okay? How can you make education delivered in a manner which a student can take, rather than in a very structured, predefined manner? I already spoke about the LMS that we use. The LMS that we use comes from one of our partners, which is the US-based company. Very stable system, can take up to close to 200,000 students with the current setup that we have. And like I said, we use a combination of online learning and face-to-face learning because we think that's the best way to deliver education. People spoke about the flipped classroom. We've already implemented the flipped classroom because we realized that when we gave people a lot of reading material, so instead of hard copy books, we gave e-books. So if you come to my center, you will not find any hard copy books. We don't have any. We use e-books. We realized that people who worked till 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the evening, they traveled an hour to reach home. They had dinner, they spoke to their family, and they sat down to read on a computer. And if they had to read 200 pages, they wouldn't read, they would fall asleep. So we said, how do you engage these people? How do you get them to learn? So we use a lot of animations, we use a lot of videos, we make it very engaging, we use a lot of flipped classroom theories to ensure that while learning remains, we don't force somebody to go to Wikipedia or Google and copy paste. Okay, but I'll skip this, I think all of you know it. The other thing we did very differently, okay? We approached this subject very differently. We said the student for us is a consumer. And when you walk into a 5-star hotel like this, you are treated differently, okay? You are treated with respect, you are asked what you want, whatever you want is delivered to you, etc., etc. We said, can we treat the student like a customer, okay? So what do? We have a student services advisor. We have tutors, we have enrollment advisors, we have financial advisors, so we have a tie-up for financing. We have people from the industry. We are in touch with about 80, 90 companies, blue chip companies, who actually come and mentor students and say, these are the skills required in the industry, this is happening, this is passé, it's past, this is the kind of skill you guys need if you want to really make a success. Whole idea was, it has to be outcome oriented. In sum, last slide. So what we said is, can we deliver technology-enabled learning with a lot of support and with processes which are standardized so that when we scale from 2 centers that we have to maybe 100 centers in the country, across 50 cities in the country, the education quality doesn't go away. Okay? And it really came from my past experience of running 6,000 taxis across multiple cities. How do you ensure that for you, every experience is the same? The experiences don't change. Okay? Although the car may change, city may change, driver may change, route may change, anything may change. How do you ensure standardization? So what we've done is, we made it very scalable. We can scale up quickly. It's very standardized. very flexible, allows us optimization of resources. We have a virtual learning environment, which is a LMS. And we have actually created a ERP in our company where things like student information system, CRM, LMS, all talk to each other. So you don't need to key in data multiple times. It's all there. You only need to key in once. I spoke about student services. So what do? We get industry-relevant education. So the other thing we do, which is very different, okay, our worry was when we started, there aren't enough PhDs in this country. Okay? Having come from the industry, I don't think we pay our teachers too well. We need to pay them better. That is why the best people get into corporate life to earn money, and we don't honor our intelligent people, people who have more qualifications than all of us put together. Okay? So we said, if you were to go to Guwahati, Imphal, Visakhapatnam, Gorakhpur, would you be able to get a good quality faculty? Answer was no. Okay? So we said, can we standardize education? Can we get the best quality education from anywhere in the world? And can that education be delivered by a non-PhD like me, a non-teacher like me, provided it is given in a standard deck? Okay? So the other thing we do very different in our school is 100% of our faculty. So we have PhDs who are experts, but who create content, who understand the needs and create content. But delivery is done by industry people with about 20 to 25 years of experience, because our audience is a working guy. He doesn't want to know what is the definition of something. He wants to know, explain the concept to me, tell me how to apply it in the office tomorrow. Okay? That's what he wants to know. And it's better done by a senior of his who's from the office so that they can connect with each other. It's all being driven by the audience that we have. If it was a fresh audience, would I do the same thing? Answer is no. I would do something differently. Okay? A lot of stuff that you see, we have online academic support, we have technical support. So we have technical support, IT support till midnight every day, 365 days of the year. Because we realized our people get down and sit in front of a computer at 11 p.m. and then they don't get any support. Something goes wrong. They can't study. So all they have to do is call and we'll solve the problem. We have industry mentorship. We have no exams. Our job is not to take exams and not to distribute degrees. Our job is to make people learn. So there is continuous evaluation every week. We, of course, provide financial support. We don't do it. We have a tie-up with a finance company, the student services advisors, etc., etc. So our view to this was, this is not about technology. This is not about content. It is all of it coming together. If you just pick one vertical, you can't deliver. All of it needs to come together. So we said, right from facilities, technology, services, academic delivery, that's a product. That has to be high quality. And the learning pedagogy, we use principles of andragogy when we teach, all embedded in one to make learning a good experience. Thank you. Any questions I can answer?
So you said that you don't issue, provide any degrees or diplomas to the learners.
We do. I said we provide a certificate, but our whole purpose doesn't end with a piece of paper. Our purpose ends with learning. That's our purpose.
They must be registering themselves for any other degree with some other institutions.
They are all working guys, so hopefully they have a graduate. That's our entry level requirement. Incidentally, another thing which I didn't mention, we have an academic collaboration with Northwestern University, US, which is maybe in the top 10 in the world. We deliver programs with them. So we maintain a certain standard which is required from an academic institution.
Hi, this is Karthik.
Hi, Karthik.
I wanted to know how it is different in form of information or teaching practices in comparison to the executive courses given by the IIMs IMTs or the others for a working profession?
Yeah. So what we've done is two things. We looked at those courses and we realized two things were happening. One, for many of these institutions, executive courses are not their core business. Their core business is a 1-year or 2-year full-time MBA program. Okay? And if you see the executive content, it is a little bit of an adaptation from the core program. In our case, it is not so. Okay? Because, like I said, we believe our working professional student doesn't want to know what is the definition of something. He or she wants to know what is a concept, now what do I do with it in the office? That's one. Second, we said it is not only important of what you have here, it is also in corporate life required how you speak. What do you do with it? So a lot of emphasis in our system goes on business communication, negotiation skills. How do you present an idea to your CEO in 30 seconds, which you have written down in 10 pages? Okay? How do you make a brief presentation in 30 seconds to somebody from whom you want a decision? Okay? So we do actually a lot of stuff beyond just learning. In corporate life, you need a combination of many things. We are trying to sort of fulfill all those needs.
More on practical grounds
Yes.
rather than the theory
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 queries.
Hanji,
One,
Hanji.
how many students are you able to train in a year, let us say?
We started about a year back.
Okay.
We currently have about 170 students. Okay? We do not have an annual intake system.
Fine.
Because
Anytime
we are working
anybody-
people,
Okay.
we take quarterly intake. Maybe a year from now we'll do monthly intake or maybe twice a month intake.
So in a way, it is a skill enhancement
Yes.
course
But
is that you
skills
are
like,
running.
normally when you refer to skills are referred to electrician, plumbing, mechanical, those kind of things.
That's a social perception.
Yeah, so the skills that, for example, we impart with Northwestern are predictive analytics skills, we do project management skills, etc., etc. So we do what this country will require if all the promises that the government is making come
My
true.
last question is, Mr. Puri,
Yeah.
how do you think this model can be imbibed or merged into the traditional education system which the government runs?
So my personal view is we are experimenting. We've been there only for a year and a half. Okay, we were trying to figure out whether this works. Do people learn? So in the first step, we would go every quarter back to the corporates, to where the people came from. We would go and meet their HR managers. We would go and meet their line managers. We would ask them, do you see a change happening? Because it's a proof of concept. We were trying it. Okay. And believe me, and we have students from McKinsey, PwC, Pepsi, Make My Trip. I can reel off some 40 companies, all blue chip. Okay, and we heard very positive things. People said we see a change happening. This person won't. The kind of questions people ask changed. It's not the answers that change; it's the questions that change. And when you start asking the right questions, you get the right answers. Okay, so our belief is now that we've sort of tried this model, it overlaid on a traditional system is actually the perfect combination, okay? Because the traditional system has its own capabilities. I think the best way to do is overlay this on a traditional system, make it far more efficient and productive than what it is today. Today it is very real estate led. You need AICT, UGC, sorry, one second. They define you need 20 acres of land, and then you need so many classrooms. I mean, how is it connected to education? Why do you need a football ground and a hostel and a swimming pool to have us to learn?
Well, they have their own importance. I won't say they are totally useless.
Okay.
What I want to say is that the government is now focusing on CBCE, choice-based credit system.
Yes, yes.
And in that process, they are, in fact, I'm involved in one of the committees. What we are thinking of is that allow a student to have flexibility of some skill-based courses, not necessarily the kind of electricians or carpenters.
Yes, yes.
But skill-based means communication skills, soft skills, and any kind of skills which enhances his or her
Correct.
capability. so to say, it's going beyond the curriculum.
Yes.
So what I was thinking of was, can we bring in some courses of this kind into this system? That will be flexible. This will be extra credits which the student will
Yes.
have to earn.
So in our case, what we do is we already implement the choice-based system, okay? So our structure is not mandated. We give choices to people, okay? So for example, when you want electives to be done, you have to do 4 electives, you have 8 choices, okay? You can pick and choose what you want. You can structure your, and in business communication, for example, we have 10 different modules. You know, you are a purchase manager, or you're a finance guy, or you're a sales guy, and you need different skills in your roles, so you can pick and choose portions that you want. So we do this already. We don't mandate a full structure onto somebody who may not need it.
Fine enough.
So I would like to make a humble request. If we are running a little late, so if we can take the comments or questions offline.
Yeah, thank you.